He came all one words. He threw 3 lots on the dry carpet, eyes sweeping the river, and he chose the location. The folding shovel is drawn out not for a walk. He immediately clears the leaves, started collecting 10 dry branches one by one. A great plan starts with the smallest actions. First priority fire. He doesn't use a lighter. He uses a friction bar. The fire was a sign of life. He immediately stepped out into the glacier. Warm metal down into the cold water. The water heater is hung up, a steaming hot cup of tea. It's ritual and it's fuel. And then the hard work begins. He's digging deep into the ground with a stick of water. The scenery changed, the snow fell white. But he's still there in front of the shovel endlessly. Where is he digging a grout tunnel? He waded down the river, digging up sacks of clay. Shovel by shovel of sand. He mixes them in a pot of water right on top of the ice. Every stone is laid down. Each layer of clay mortar is plastered onto a permanent shadow 9. The giants began to appear. He carries large tree trunks on his shoulders. And here's Art with a 2-handed razor. He stripped off the tree's bark to reveal the golden wood. Hammer and chisel into work. Every time, he chiseled out the saddle locks. This is an ancient building technique, exactly to the millimeter. So the underground foundation is done. He cleared the snow to reveal the pillars. Now is the time to rise. He didn't build the wall in the first place. He's building these Y pillars, creating the central skeleton. Giant floor beams are raised up. Next, each board is roofed. A solid fighting floor is finished. And then the first piece of wood. This is when Art speaks. He didn't just stack them up. Look closely. He carefully spreads insulation into the grooves of the wood below. A master technique to make sure there's a gap. He's carving a dream in the corner. And make wooden latches. One family tree. This is how the ancients built it to last 1,000 years. Layer by layer, the fortress is actually rising. Now the snow has melted and our builder is back. The walls are now solid. An impenetrable fortress. But a fortress also needs an entrance. It's time for a risky technique. Wood block surgery. Look at this. He doesn't. The doorframe he cut straight into the finished wall. Muscle-tongue hands screeching obliquely through the protein wood grain. He used a chiseled kite to pry out pieces. This is the master's way. Sealed construction to lock structural die. Then open the door. The house is finally breathing. But the work was Van Cow. He needed a new tool. Will he buy it or will he make it? He doesn't have to go far. He goes straight inside. The floor immediately turned into a workshop. He's putting 2 long branches parallel. It's packed, and you're carving the stairs. Without screws. He's using the smaller branches as pegs. A rough but sturdy ladder. Born from the forest itself. This is the key to him conquering the sky. And now the ladder is in use. This is the most suffocating moment. He climbed up, standing dangerously on top of the protective wireless wall. The task of lifting long and heavy sow trees. Temporary works. It's time for a survival master. He doesn't use the kitchen. He carries stones, carefully arrange them into a perfect circle, to a primordial furnace. He doesn't need a match, a handful of hay, a strawberry lighter, a flaming stroke of fire. He's loading wood in the shape of the pyramid, to create a raging fire. Ready for a party. Back to the kitchen table, just 2 logs. The blades start dancing red bell peppers, yellow bell peppers. Onion lemon professionally sliced. And this is his masterpiece. 3 deep lines on the body of the fish. He's not just marinating, he stuffed herbs and onions into his chili belly. Bells and lemons are placed directly into the notches. Finally, he wrapped it in a tight silver armor. Second course, bacon, potatoes, the rest of the vegetables. It's all wrapped up in a second silver bag. The fire's gone. There's only burning coal left. He put both silver packets directly on the coal. The party ends, the war with gravity begins. He's back, and it's time to conquer the sky. Let's see him carry a rope over his shoulder to pull each tree because the candy was long and heavy. He's carefully hanging them on the rafters, the central roof, and a lock that's been cut off on the wall. This is the main skeleton of the roof. Its use. They're the ones that are subject to the whole arbitration. Everything, the wood planks, waterproof layer, and tons of mud of living roofs. It's going to crush this skeleton later. They have to be perfect. After the rafters are in position, he started fitting the brackets, also known as sago. He's nailed it all together. Their use is here. They're bundling up the entire frame. It's a solid grid. They prevent the extension bars from being twisted or detached under weight. Without them, the skeleton would be very weak. With them, it becomes a fortress. The skeleton has been reinforced. It's time to roof out. He's carrying wooden boards, heavy, and start roofing from the bottom up. The first one, the second one. He nailed them directly to the skeleton. This is the act of creating a roof deck. This plank creates a solid, flat surface. This is the most important foundation. It was the only thing he could stand up to. And more importantly, it's what keeps the waterproofing and the entire roof. Green brush on. There's no skin after this. Everything above will collapse. The wood floor of the roof is finished, but the wood will rot if it meets water. It's time for the real armor. He's carrying a roll of oil paper occult roofing sheets. He doesn't brush it at random. He starts at the bottom edge, carefully nailing fixed. He climbed up and rolled the paper up to the top of the roof. Its use. This is an absolutely waterproof skin. The wood is just a frame, but this black film is the real thing. Keep the house dry. Stop every drop of rain from entering. But a roof has a fatal weakness. That's the edge. And this is the master's technique. He combed the second one and planted it on the edge of the first one. A basic principle that water always flows down, but he did it even better. He used blackbird's nest and a fire torch, sealed each seam. What he's doing is he's welding the segregated roofing into a monolithic membrane. There are no gaps, no weaknesses. Water doesn't have any chance. He repeated this process until the roof is secure. The waterproof is done. I thought it was over. Let's see what he does next. He puts thin wooden splints on top. It's a giant grid. Why is it nailing through the waterproof layer you just made? This is genius. The use of this framework. It's not for keeping the roof. It's the skeleton that's preparing for the final masterpiece. It's what will hold it, carrying and retaining tons of mud, prevent them from slipping off the sloping roof. He's not just building houses. He's going to plant a whole hill up there. The waterproof curtain is finished, but doing so to keep tons of land on a sloping roof. He doesn't use a wire mesh. He uses the very branches of the tree. He woven them into a giant net, intricately forcing each intersection. Next, he creates flesh for the roof. He doesn't swim sucking bamboo shoots. He uses the heart of the land, country from the river and the hay. He mixes them up, creating a mixture of ancient clay mortar. And now the hard work begins. Every handful of clay grout pressed. Squeeze and squeeze into the tree's net. He has to climb, walk on the sloping roof, follow each bucket of mortar. It's a job that requires extreme patience. The use of this grout. It creates a unified landmass, a giant nutrient gourd. Will keep moisture, and it's a solid foundation to hold on to that green skin. Finally. The mud is dry. It's now the most spectacular landscape surgery ever. He doesn't grow grass. He moved off a hill. He used a knife. Carefully cut each grass brick intact, both roots and soil. Each piece of heavy weight is carried. And let's see him put them on the roof like tiles. From the bottom up on the edges of the pillows. This is a masterpiece of aesthetics. The house is gone. It became part of the hill. About the technique that grass roots will grow deep, stitching the entire roof together into a block. A layer of sound insulation and perfect living camouflage. The roof is done, but a masterpiece can't be without an observatory. He walked out, measuring the land, looking straight out at the stream. First he pierced a tree trunk. This is the foundation. He digs a hole, burying them deep into the ground with a spade. This is what anchors the entire balcony to the ground. He repeats with the second column. Check the distance with the nail bar. Now the skeleton. The cast iron beams are raised. It's locked into the foundation and into the pole. Their use. This is a floor beam system. They'll bear the entire weight of the floor. And his own. Immediately each panel is roofed and fixed. A solid porch deck suspended on the edge of the finished. A balcony that needs safety. But he doesn't make a normal delivery. He's building the pillars, and look at this subtlety. He's looking for a naturally curved branch, bucking and fitting it as a handrail. And how to cut the ribbon for this masterpiece. With a king's feast. The fire's on again. But this time the kitchen table is placed right on the new public table. Smoky raw meat menu, and let's look at this technique. Without breaking it, he skews them, interspersed with nettle meat marinated and sealed in foil. The chicken is ready. It's all baked on charcoal. He sliced the potatoes into a spiral. But the use of this meal is not just for satiety. This is a ritual. He's sitting there on his observatory watching. Down the stream and enjoy. This is the taste of conquest. The inside of the house is still cold. It's time to build its heart to the hearth. He didn't start with stones right at first. He measured the cup. He carefully creates a curved wooden mold, bolted straight to the floor. This is the mold for the mantelpiece, shaping the safe area. Next, he's layered with a heat-resistant black film. This is the first and most important layer of protection. It completely isolates the floor, the wood below from the coming terrible heat. Prevent any explosion risk. He built a makeshift mortar mixer right on the floor. It's not 11 chutes, it's clay, sand, and until an ancient refractory mortar mixture. He went to the river to get water and started mixing. The wet mixture is filled into the mold. And this is art. He meticulously puts flat slabs of stone into wet mortar, put them together like a puzzle. Utility, he's creating an absolute heat shield. This mortar and this stone will harden into an artificial rock, a solid foundation, and the real floor for the fire. So it's time to get up. He doesn't use tiles. He used river stones. One by one, it's locked in clay. He kept using the ruler to no avail. He's securing the walls of the combustion chamber. Must be upright, absolute bearing for the entire structure above. And then the door of the fire. He carefully put the cast iron door in. He built stones to embrace it, seal it into the structure. The use of this oven door is air control equipment. Helps the fire burn efficiently and safely. He went back to the riverbank. This time his target is flat shields. To the shale. He carefully removed them from the cliffs, and let's see. He puts them on top. It's not just a fireplace. This is the kitchen. This slate will absorb and retain heat. make it a perfect kitchen. He installed the grill, install an auxiliary oven door above, a universal heating cooking machine. Chimney metal is installed. But this is the most dangerous part. Hot metal and wood wall. The solution of a giant heat sink. He's covering the chimney with big rocks. The chimney continues to skew through the mezzanine. He made a hole. But he absolutely wouldn't let the chimney touch the wood. He repeats the process. He used stone and mortar. Build a second safety belt in the mezzanine. He's isolating heat at every point of contact. Safety is absolute. There's no room for error when you're alone in the woods. And finally, he climbed onto the green roof. He kept building the chimney that reached high, a real stone tower. What it does is it protects metal pipes from rainstorms and create wind traction, helps the heater burn stronger. Turn inside. He uses a wet brush. He's smoothing and cleaning the joints. Make them more durable. The heart of stone is finished. After much work, the heart of stone is finished. But it's still cold. Now is the time to give life. He didn't use a lighter. He's chopping wood, arranged them perfectly, with a gassy torch. He lit the fire. The fire is burning. Look at the smoke rising from the stone spire on the roof. This is the final test. It works the funnel's drag convection system. It's all perfect. The house now has a soul. And to celebrate, he's looking no further. He picked a handful of forest tea leaves, maybe wild mint leaves. He takes water from the stream and puts sound on the stone stove. But the construction continues. The sleeping shelter is still dark. He measured. It creates a triangular window. Utility: to capture the light and create vision for the mezzanine. He doesn't use glasses. He's using a durable transparent plastic sheet. He stretched it out. The use of plastic sheet, it is light, cheap, easy to install, and hard to break. A smart solution for the wilderness. He put it in place. An eye to the forest that has been opened. A fortress needs a gate. He put together the boards raw. Try them with a classic crossbar. The use of bracing bars, it locks the boards, prevent them from warping and sagging over time. But a square door is so trivial. He used a saw to create a perfect ring roof. He's chiseling wood and installing hinges, and here's a fire show. He hucked the whole door. The use of fire not only creates the classic burning wood color, it also protects the wood grain against mosquitoes and moisture. A gate that is both beautiful and eternal nigh. Inside the very narrow space. He must be a witch. Let's see him make a table. But it's also a window. He attached the hinge in. Use when needed. It's a dining table looking out the window. When you don't need, it folds up into a solid shutter. Magic of Cabinet 7 Smart. And sleeping space, a bed that's too expensive. He drilled straight into the wall. Installation of heavy-duty chain hooks. He's made a bed suspended in the air. It frees up the entire floor space underneath. Create a sense of spaciousness and avoid the cold from the floor. It's a design genius. But do sow to the mezzanine. He measured, creating a ladder. He's chiseling up the steps. This is the way. Connecting living and resting spaces. And of course, he's also sinking all of the internal 7. Outside, the rain began to fall. He's back, looking for chun noodles. Insulation into every crevice between the logs. This is the final ceiling step. Turning the house into a windswept fortress. And then night falls outside the storm. Inside, he lights up a burning heart of stone. He cooked a hearty dinner. Corn porridge, cheese, bacon. He eats in absolute warmth and safety. The housework is done. He enjoyed himself. Give himself a good meal. Welcome to the completed house. If you see V-Dike, follow me to see what's coming.